pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming out and sharing this evening with us. Lou asked me to tell you a little bit about ourselves and what we've done. So, this is one of the projects that I put together, and basically I did what people said was impossible. In New York City, you have a sanitation department. You have trucks collecting garbage. You have recycling trucks picking up the recyclables. What I've done is I've gone to a country where most people would not even dare to go. As you can see, and you're gonna see, we have military personnel guarding us while we're touring the landfills. This is what our introduction is, the landfill of Santiago in the Dominican Republic. What we've done is we've gone there and we've taken this area that you're gonna see, and you're gonna see what we've transformed it into. Not only that, but we've made it into a profitable venture. We were able to take what basically people said was impossible. You have to have separate recycling systems. You have to make an investment in separate trucks, increase the expenses of the town and the community. Now, this is a precursor to what we're doing here. In Millville, New Jersey, we have the processing of the plastics. So this would be one of our sources. But for example, this can be easily replicated in New Jersey if we want to take that step. But let me tell you a little bit about it and then you can see it. The introduction, you see animals feeding off of the landfill. Go ahead. This is the way the city of Santiago, I'd say about 15 minutes from their local city hall. This is what it looked like. Right? You have animals feeding off of the trash. People picking the recyclables out of the landfills in order to survive. That is how they used to acquire their plastic. To the right, you see the back of his head in the checkered shirt. That is, or was, the governor of Santo Domingo. He's a congressman. Nene Cabrera. He's the one who ventured and actually wound up taking over this project after we set this up and we got it going. So it was with his assistance that we're able to make this venture a successful venture. This is some of the security personnel and how we traveled. And mind you, I've worked not only in Colombia, but I had a factory in Honduras. The Dominican Republic. I had a factory in Honduras and also Colombia. And I've also worked with Coca-Cola in Ciudad Juarez, which is right across the El Paso border. And now, remember that vision, that horrific vision that you had? Well, this is what we turned it into. Take a look at the new facility. The landfill, you see a little bit to the right what's left over of the old landfill, and this is the new facility. What we have here, top of the line equipment imported from Europe. This is where the brainchild of the operation is, within that area. Now, this is rather simplistic because of the country that we're working in. So being that we were in the Dominican Republic, we used less technology. For example, less computers, made it more manual intervention, which increased the workforce, which is what was one of their requests. So they wanted to make certain that we had a minimum of 500 people working, and we succeeded. We have infrared detectors, X-ray detectors working on these to separate it. This is the receiving area where the trucks come in and they dump the trash there. The area to the right is made available for future investments in other technologies. When the weather's constantly at 80 degrees, 70 degrees coldest, you don't need walls in your building. Our next video is going to be an introduction from what the mayor has done. As you can see, that's the mayor of Santiago. And as a matter of fact, you can see one of the New York City garbage trucks over there. That's where they ship them. And you see how they handle the trash. It's just trash right out of the back of a truck. Those are all the recyclables. That's where all the value is coming out of. This plant pays for itself. This is where the value is. This is the commodities. Once you confirm trash into an item that could be easily traded, you've created a commodity. We have HDPE, PET, aluminum, tin, cardboard, white paper, just to name a few of the items that are recyclable. And they're traded on the open market. Now, Millville Plastics will purchase that item in its clean form. So this will be a clean operation. It will not be a dirty operation, where the material is offloaded off a truck, goes through the process, gets ground, gets washed, and out you get what we call an FDA, or Food and Drug Administration approved flake. What that means is that if any of you are drinking water out of the Poland Spring bottles, that's made out of our recycled plastics. So at one time, that came out of our landfills. But due to our technology that we have, we're able to bring it up, to clean it so well and to process it, that we have an item that could be used again into food consumption. Okay? One of our future ventures is to be the first one to bring it into pharmaceutical industries, which is not yet being used in recyclables, but that's a little bit later on. What you're gonna see over here is the mayor of Santiago asked us, not this one, but the previous, Gilberto Cerrulla, asked us to help with an investment in the community. So with the help of the government bank, Banco Reserva, what we've done is we've created these apartments through a government subsidy program where we invested the money and were reimbursed as it was being sold, apartments for those employees. Each apartment was sold for no more than $50,000, making it affordable to the average person there. The financing was provided by the government bank, Banco Reserva. So these are some of the things that we've gotten involved in. So not only do we go there, not only do we clean the landfills, not only do we create a business and make it profitable where we can make money from it, but we've given back now a working facility that could be replicated in other areas of the country, and we gave housing to the people. And that's what it looks like. That was the rendering for it. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, now what we're going to do is this when they came to see me June, I think, of last year. This project, frankly, had been talked about for a few years, and there were tremendous challenges that we had to deal with. Happy to say that with Mayor Santiago and with the City Commission, we were able to reach agreement with their excellent lawyer, Jim Schrader, on a redevelopment agreement. But before we get to that, I'm going to ask, we already heard from Assemblyman Andrzejak, I'm going to ask his partner and colleague, Assemblyman Bruce Land, to say a few words. Very interesting, both of our assemblymen are decorated veterans from different wars. Assemblyman Andrzejak from Iraq or Afghanistan? Iraq. And Assemblyman Land from Vietnam. Both of them were acknowledged for saving the lives and putting themselves in jeopardy to save the lives of the men who were with them, first in Vietnam and then more recently. Like I said with Bob, the first thing I think we should do is thank Bruce for his service in Vietnam. Thank you for your service. And now he gets to work with Jeff Van Drew, which is a whole other type of service. So on that sentiment, I'll ask you to come up and say a few words about this.
We kid about Senator Van Drew, you know he's a dentist. And we always kid him, we say, Jeff has probably inflicted more pain on people than me and Bob.
We're going to get you right over here so that we get the camera. I thought for sure he'd have the Eagles cap on.
Every day's a different hat for me. I'm a man of many hats for a good reason. It's my privilege and honor to be here tonight for many reasons. Representing the 1st District here in South Jersey is one. The second thing is I grew up in this town back in the day when it really thrived with industry, and there's a few people, Jim, Joe. This building we're in right now, literally, I forget the numbers, but thousands worked at Wheaton's. 7 days a week, 3 shifts, it was constant. My wife's entire family, including herself, all worked at Wheaton's at one time or another. Then we had Armstrong Car Glass south of here, Mall Brothers, just Airworks at the airport, just so many great industries. And it's great to see this building being utilized again, to see it coming back. With the great work of the mayor, the city commission, our county freeholders, CCIA, I just see Millville coming back. I'm glad I'm going to be around for a few more years. I like to see it happen because this was a great city to grow up in, and I think it's going to happen again. So I'll be brief. We got a few speakers. I'm thrilled. I think this thing flies. We'll bring in more people, and it's the start of a new generation. Thank you guys very much. Jared.
It's an honor to be here, Anthony. Had a chance to meet you several months ago. You explained to us what you wanted to do in this county and in the lovely city here of Millville, and you've come through, along with your investors and the people that believe in the product you're going to bring. As the Senator said, there was about 20 to 25,000 people that were employed by the glass industry back when we were growing up. Right now, it's about 3,000. So we recognized that manufacturing was a mainstay here in this community, not just in Millville, but the entire county itself. We've shifted a little bit to agriculture and food processing, but our main thrust has been manufacturing. So not only are you finding a great home for what you're going to develop and lead the charge in regards to recycling, you've also found a great workforce that potentially is going to be able to take you and take your product and your company to the next level for sure. So we are happy that you're here. We are thrilled to be part of the process, and whatever we can do to make sure we foster this and help you grow this thing to the vision you just showed us, we're there for you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This commission is about family. This commission is about being together. This commission is about doing what's best for the city as a whole. And believe it or not, we don't agree. As you saw in a couple meetings, and I'm not going to point out the one commissioner, but we voted on a city contract for a chief and we didn't agree. But the nice thing about that is that we walked out with smiles and we're still friends and we're still talking to each other. That's very important. You have to have a team effect to make this city move forward, and Team Santiago is doing that. So I appreciate all the commissioners. I appreciate everybody coming here. This is a fantastic thing that's going to happen in the city of Millville. I can't wait till that parking lot is filled like it is today, because you're going to bring employment back to the city that's been missing for many, many years. And all I can say is I'm going to be right there with you, appreciating what you've done and every accolade that you need, and you'll get it from us, because this is big. We're bringing somebody from another state to the city of Millville that has that dream to invest in this city. And all I can say is thank you. Thank you. Have a good night. Short enough?
Perfect, Mayor.
Thank you all for coming out. I get to talk a lot about the good things that we do on the non-landfill side of the Improvement Authority, and folks want to pay a lot of attention to what happens, outside of the landfill. People take for granted what happens at the landfill. The Cumberland County landfill, we believe, is the best run landfill in the state of New Jersey. We have a treatment facility, which is the only one of its kind in the state. We have a gas generation to energy facility at our site. that feeds the grid. So we're involved in a lot of different things. That the recycling and what happens at the landfill is critical to the county. So today I get to talk a little bit about the landfill because obviously, from our perspective, we certainly are the economic development arm of the county. And thank you to the freeholders because when I got involved, it's 5 years now. April 1st will be 5 years. Not everybody was exactly. They were kind of like the mayor, Mayor Santiago. They weren't sure. I'm a little more aggressive than most, but I think at the end of the day, the only way we're going to get to the point where we are today is by being a little more aggressive than usual and making sure that Cumberland County was on the map and the big star that lands in Cumberland County got bigger. So hats off to everybody in the room because it doesn't happen because of one person. It doesn't happen because of one entity. It happens because everybody gets around the room and wants to make it happen. So thanks to all of you. Give yourselves a hand because it doesn't happen unless we all work together. So as you saw, those big squares that are the recycled materials are essentially what we create every day. When you put your recycles into the can, you do the plastics in the bottles and they go in, they come to our facility, they get processed, and then they end up in those squares. Right now, because of what's happening in the economy, because of what's happening in the global market, we can't sell that stuff. So we're getting zero for it, we're hauling it, and really there's nowhere to take it for the folks that are processing it. This obviously gives us a great opportunity to take that material that can't be sold right now and turn it into a recyclable material that can be reused and, quite frankly, selfishly speaking, that we can sell and make money on. And then generate money for the projects that we develop in the county. So this is a great marriage for us. It's a great opportunity for us. It's a way to make somebody's trash somebody's treasure. And if I knew 20 years ago how good the trash business could be, I would have done this 20 years ago. But thanks for coming out. Thank you, Anthony, for your hard work. And I know it wasn't always easy, but I can tell you, going forward, we're going to make this work. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody for welcoming us into this beautiful city. I mean, never have we entered a city to do business, and that we felt like we've lived here for many years. I mean, this is becoming truly home for us. And I'd like to say thank you and congratulate all of you for being who you are, for opening your arms and bringing us into this town. Salud, cheers, and for many years to come.
Jindani.
Jinnah. Thank you very much.
Now, we got one more piece of the puzzle.